So, my name is Nantchev, and this channel is all about helping you become a remarkable entrepreneur. So click on the subscribe button below and press the bell notification right next to it for the latest uploads. Now, two interesting key performance indicators for content marketing. One that I call the cost of discovery, and two, what I call the chain of discovery. So, the cost of discovery is very much based on the economic concept of convergence rate. The rate at which two things can come together. X can go from here to here over the course of, say, 100 years, but Y can go from here to there over the course of, say, 25 years. Simply because X is pioneering the way, figuring out through trial and error what to do, what not to do, and this one here just leapfrogs, essentially, just copies and pastes the strategies and methods like that. And a kind of example of this would be like an icebreaker ship in the Arctic Sea, for example, where there's a mile-long, thick, like ice sheet, and they have to break a canal through it, and it might take them 6 months. All the energy, exertion, and effort, and planning and logistics breaking the ice. But then once they've broke that 1 mile canal, other ships can just come along in that 1 mile, in the course of, I don't know, in a few hours or an hour or a few minutes, if anything. But it took the icebreaker ship ages to get from there to there. But most boats can do it in moments once the canal is done. So the people that come afterwards are benefiting from the efforts and energy exerted from the leader, from the pioneer, essentially. So how can we apply that in content marketing? So if you know something very exclusive and rare and valuable and knowledgeable, then arguably you might want to share it with people. Not everything. Keep your cards close. Don't share everything. Share 80 or 90%, but the rest of it keep to yourself, just in case. Oh, all of it if you want, but hey, it's your business. By sharing with these people, they're going to discover very unique, very insightful, knowledgeable, smart stuff. Whether it's in a blog or a book or a course or infographic or whatever, paid or unpaid, they're gonna want to know this smart, clever stuff. And the more valuable it is for them. So the rarer it is, the more insightful it is, the more valuable it is going to be for them. So if someone spends 50 years of making mistakes in business or life, then someone who's 10 or 11 or 20 might want, well, that'll be a lot of value to them, but if they're willing to pay it or not on different metrics, but I spent 10 years making the mistake. You, 20-year-old, don't do this. Yeah, alright, cool. You just prevented that 20-year-old, arguably, from making 10 years of mistakes by listening from his advice. He's the icebreaker ship, making the mistakes. Don't do this. Yeah, sure, okay, cool. And he avoids it completely. So by adding immense amount of value, rare, insightful value, that may have taken you a long time to learn or trial and error or discover or refine, just tell them, like info dump, in different packages, books or infographics or whatever, the more valuable it is. The rarer the knowledge, the more valuable it's going to be. The more you can justifiably pay for it, depending on a few factors like trust and reputation, for example, or like route to market and things like that, and community. So yeah, that. It's like I've got a good mate of mine, and we met in December 2015. Yeah, 15, at an event in London, and it's like he doesn't live too far from me. And it's like, had we not been at that event, we would not have discovered and met each other and shared so many ideas and concepts and insights into the universe or marketing or finance and accounting and stuff like that. So the lessons to go to meet him and to talk about, say, learn a little bit of what he does at a blue chip company, learn a little bit about it. The cost of that was arguably a train ticket to London, and then loads of months and months and months of building trust and knowing each other and talking and dialogue and sharing ideas, and it's like, this latest little bit of knowledge. So arguably now it's no money down, no skin in the game. So it's really cool that way. So cost of discovery, the more valuable your information is back to you, the harder it is for you to learn, the more valuable it's going to be for your audience. Similarly, chain of discovery. So imagine like a series of overlapping Venn diagrams, like circles. So you've got your original audience here. Let's say it's XYZ audience. if you pivot slightly to this audience, let's say it's A, B, Z, you can attract new kinds of customers and people and eyeballs and attention while still staying true to your original audience. So X, Y, Z, A, Y, Z. Then have another one here, which from nowhere, a new one could be X, A, Z. Then a third one could be up here, which is X, Y, A. Different audiences that are similar overlapping interests, but retaining your original target audience, because you don't want to do too many laps. You know, X, Y, Z, A, Y, Z, A, B, Z, X, B, C, for example. You don't want to do too many overlaps because you might disenfranchise your original audience. But by creating new content that appeals to slightly different people with similar overlaps and priorities, you can create more audience and eyeballs and attention. For example, if you're talking about entrepreneurship, you can then talk about entrepreneurship in the context of photography, or in the context of or graphics, or graphic design, like graphic illustration design. So these kind of people are going to be interested in that, new kinds of audiences, but it's still staying true to your original audience, insofar as like rule of composition, tonal values, Fibonacci spiral, things like that. And how can how do they mix with entrepreneurship, for example? I can't think of it right now, but how can they combine together? This is the cost of discovery, chain of discovery. So when these people discover you, they're more inclined to consume other pieces of content, or the more they consume, the more they're going to end up consuming. And then, the more they consume, if there's a call to action, to a product page, a checkout, or ring me now, or book an appointment, that kind of stuff, the more inclined they are to follow it. And it's just you're creating content and you're finding new ways of how can you apply your knowledge to different industries and sectors. And as a side note, let's say you're a solicitor, a lawyer, and you're in a community of lawyers, but there's loads of lawyers. What you want to do instead is the opposite. Find a community which there's no other lawyers there, or no other solicitors that you can add value to. For example, if you're a lawyer and you know a little bit about criminal prosecution, or corporate law, or family law, for example, or tort law, you can find communities that are affected by, say, family law, whether it's like divorce groups or people going through divorce, these kind of communities in the world, and create content for them. And therefore, by supply and demand, you're the only solicitor there that they know of, off the top of their head, without Googling and researching. Off the top of their head, you're the only solicitor, lawyer, that they know of. And therefore, you're more valuable, and therefore, more people are more inclined to come to you for advice. And if they know you through the content you've created, they kind of feel like a quasi relationship, what's called a parasocial relationship, where they've consumed your content so many times, they now feel they know you and they trust you. But it's a parasocial because it's a one-way relationship. They know you, but they don't know them. So it's like, oh, I know you from all your videos. Yeah, thanks a lot. What's your name again? Oh, cool. That's really cool. So if you can identify new kinds of audiences to appeal to, you can get different kinds of attention and attraction and momentum going. So it can be pretty cool that way. You never know. In this world we live in now, you never know who is watching and who is going to discover your content. So interesting stuff. So two kind of new KPIs to speak of. Cost of discovery, how much it costs you to discover something. The more it costs you to learn something, the more you can charge for it. And chain of discovery. How can you change and rearrange your content, or angle it in different ways that appeals to different communities and different niches and different people and target audiences in order to be discovered. And the cost of discovery is the stuff inside, the valuable information inside the content marketing. So, some cool stuff there. In the meantime, however, remember that this channel is all about helping you become a remarkable entrepreneur. So click on the subscribe button below and press the bell notification right next to it for the latest uploads. How cool is that?